Hello, I'm Julian Northbrook from doingenglish.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about the English learning imbalance, why it's important and why getting it wrong is holding you back, and of course, what you should be doing. New Airbnb apartment. Yes, I've moved again for about, I think it's the fifth time now since I've been in New York. This is going to be the last place I stay in before I head back to Ireland. And I must say, I am loving this apartment. It's owned by two documentary artists, and there are a lot of great art books and cool things just lying around that I am making full use of whilst I am here. Now, the English learning imbalance, what is it exactly? So this video, as many of my videos are, is inspired by the feedback that I've just done for one of my method trainees. In week 2, what we're really looking at is reconditioning some very bad habits that most people have. That is stopping them from getting, the maximum progress in the shortest amount of time with their English speaking as possible. And one of the things that one of my current trainees said in today's homework and that I gave feedback on was that she's now going to shift her focus from studying English to learning by doing. Now, this is important, and there is a very important role of doing stuff in English for improving, but to simply switch one for the other is extreme. You need a balance of these two things. What tends to happen is some people are all study all the time. This is how they were taught at school, and they've just continued that way of learning English later on in life. Everything they do in English is all about learning. It's all about study. It's very analytical. And what these people tend to do is develop a very slow, awkward language processing system, if that even makes sense, whereby when they do speak in English, they can't keep up, they can't comprehend like natural speech, they struggle to express themselves, and they're constantly overthinking and translating in their head. And this is really because they've actually trained themselves to see English as a fundamentally different thing to their native language. It's not something which we do, which we use in day-to-day life. No, it's something which we study, which we analyze. And those are the associations, the habits they've created in the brain. Others reject this way of learning and go completely the other way, and they try to learn just by doing all the time. The so-called natural approach to learning English. And what tends to happen with these people is they do improve in English and they tend to build quite high levels of fluency, but it tends to be very, very messy, and they end up with what we call fossilized mistakes. That is, kind of mistaken blocks of English that have become chunked in the mind, and now they're extremely difficult to fix. They're kind of stuck there. This way of learning is also very, very slow and extremely inefficient. And we know this because people go to live in English-speaking countries thinking that that's going to be sufficient to improve, and then 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, they're still kind of stuck, and they've plateaued and they're unable to break past that. You need a balance of these two things. There's a lot of research in applied linguistics that shows that that focused, intensive study opens a door that then allows usage and exposure to English to come through and actually have its maximum benefit on the language that we are trying to improve. If you skip the study part, that door remains firmly closed. Now, a little bit does get through. It comes in trickles through the keyhole or through the post box, but the vast majority of the benefit from using English just bashes into that closed door and never actually reaches us. So study opens the door, usage and exposure then allows that language to actually be refined, sharpened, optimized, automatized. Is that even a word? Automatized. Made automatic in the mind. And you need this balanced routine, day in, day out of study, usage, study, usage. Now, there is an optimal balance, and there is a lot of subtlety to these two things. There are different ways that you can study and you can approach the study part of it. There is a way that I find works best, and that's what I teach, using certain study styles and certain exercises to improve in a very, very highly focused, quite intensive manner. And then there are certain things you should and should not be doing when you are thinking about using English that a lot of people get wrong. I'm not going to explain all of these things here because it would go way beyond the scope of a simple video like this. However, you can and should learn all about this from me for free by heading over to doingenglish.com/free training, where I'm going to teach you my rocket launch method and the 5 key changes that you need to make to see the fastest progress in English. And a big part of that is this 2-track approach to learning. At the end of that, if you so desire, I'm going to give you the chance to get more from me and to get my personal help in actually improving your English. If you're already ready for that, you can and should head over to doingenglish.com/MEFA. That's MEFA, short for Master English Fast Accelerator course, and check out the information on that page and think about it very, very carefully before you decide to join or not. This course is not for everybody. It's very, very intensive. It's a lot of hard work. It'll get you fantastic results. To be sure, my goal is to get you a massive boost in proficiency over a 90-day period, and then to leave you with a set up, structured daily routine habit for improving your English lifelong. It is hard work to get that done initially in the first 90 days though. So read the information carefully before making your decision whether to join or not. At this point in time, I believe there are 10 or 11 places left on the June 1st, 2020 start. We start a new group each month. There are 15 places in each group. Right now, there are about 10 for the next one. Anyway, if you haven't checked out the free training, I would recommend that you check that out first, and then again, doingenglish.com/MEFA for information on the course. I'll put those links in the description below this video. I'll link them on the card or whatever the hell it's called up here. Hopefully I'm pointing in the right direction. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions about what I've just talked about, or about learning English in general, and I will pick up the good ones and answer them in future videos. Right, this is me, Julian Northbrook, signing out from this video. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.